Hello, everyone from MCF and IVP. Thank you for joining today to this very important webinar by Ms. Jana Ghanem, who's completing her master's degree in psychoanalysis and has worked extensively as a mental health professional in Lebanon in this context, in this environment. So she's seen all sorts of things when it comes to mental health situations. And as you know, the startup founder's journey is going to be tough and fun. So when it's fun, it's easy and you're enjoying it. And then when it's tough, I don't want to say enjoy the toughness, but it's inevitable. Anything that's worth doing, I think, is, if it's tough, then you just have to push through it. And you might get some sort of mental health disturbance from these tough things. So today with the webinar, we're going to be talking about such situations, perhaps, and how to take care of yourself when things aren't going according to plan. I think this is the biggest takeaway from today. So I'll just leave the floor to Jana, who is a friend of our director, Ms. Maha Zwayed. That's how we got in touch to give this webinar. Jana, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Hani, and hello, everyone. So, as Hani said, I'm currently completing my master's in clinical psychology and specializing in psychoanalysis. I'm very excited to be with you all today. So, I'm gonna start with my presentation. If any of you has any question, you can raise your hand or we can discuss at the end of the webinar. We're gonna have like 10, 15 minutes to answer all your questions. So today we're going to be talking about something that's not usually addressed in the entrepreneurship programs, as Hani said, which is your mental capacity to sustain what you're building. As you all know, success is not only about your idea or your strategy, it's also about whether you can handle the pressure that comes with it over time. Okay. So can you all see my screen? Okay. So first, I'm going to start with something called framing, which is to be able to frame what entrepreneurship is and what it takes properly. I want to start with it as a shift in perspective. We usually think that entrepreneurship is about time management, execution, and strategy. But in reality, it's also about a nervous system challenge. You're constantly dealing with uncertainty, high stakes decision, and pressure. So your brain is always on. But the real question is not just can your business grow, but can your system handle the growth sustainability? So each one of us has their own personal issues, their own personal problems, a lot that's been going on, especially for us people living in Lebanon. Like it's been hectic. And especially you who are trying to grow your business. And during these obstacles, you also need to get a take a better look at your nervous system, at your capacity, if you're capable of doing this now, and how capable you are of coping with what's going on. So a lot of us and a lot of people don't know the difference between stress and burnout, and there's always a confusion between the two. But they are very different. Stress is a tool usually useful. It can push us, energize us, and help us perform. Burnout, on the other hand, is what happens when the stress continues for too long without enough recovery. A simple way to think about it is that stress is having too much to do, while burnout is reaching a point where you have nothing left to give. So stress is a positive thing, as I said, and it's good to keep us motivated, to keep us trying to do the best for us and aiming for the better. But at the same time, if we don't give ourselves any break, then we're gonna be exhausted, and this will lead to the burnout. And we're gonna be less engaged in whatever we're doing and not having enough left energy to put into our business. So there are three phases of stress. First phase is the alarm phase. It's the immediate fight or flight. I know we've all heard of what fight or flight is, but what I want to tell you is that the brain does not actually know the difference between real danger, like if someone's stalking us or someone's following us, and the danger that our mind thinks it has, which is anxiety. So it does not really differentiate between the real danger or the danger in our mind. And that's why we have the adrenaline rush and we go into the immediate fight or flight. The second phase is the grind, which is resistance. It's your body trying to resist all this negative energy, all these obstacles and grinding, which leads to high cortisol levels, and thus we stay alert in this phase. And then, if the person stays in the resistance phase and does not identify the warning signs that they're tired, then we reach the third phase, which is the exhaustion. It's the crash when our system shuts down to prevent damage. What burnout really is, the myth that we all are used to hearing, it's just about working too hard. However, it's not only about that and goes deeper than that. It's a mismatch between high demands and low resources, and especially again in a country like Lebanon, where the resources are really low. There are a lot of obstacles, and there are a lot of factors leading to these obstacles and these anxieties. It's not about if we work hard and if we work really, really hard, then we'll reach places. It can be demotivating. And the high demand and the high responsibilities that one can have with all of these low resources can lead to exhaustion, uncertainty, and inefficiency. Uh, First, when the mind is going through something, the body is always connected to the mind. So there are always some physical signs, physical warning signs that is warning us that we're not doing well, that something is wrong, and that's when we really need to listen to our body. So the warning signs can be disrupted sleep, tired but wired. So even though you're really tired, you go to bed super tired, ready to sleep, but you still can't turn your brain off just for 1 second, and you're still thinking a lot about everything, and you're restless, unable to sleep peacefully. Chronic muscle tension, a lot of people experience this. Uh, Digestive friction or changed appetite. Even some people experience trouble eating, or they're eating more than before, or changed appetite, changing in their diet habits, and frequent minor illnesses. As you know, when we're super experience super sorry so, sorry, when we're super under stress, our immunity is suppressed, and thus we are more likely to be infected and to have minor illnesses because of low immunity. Okay, these are signs of burnout. On the other level, which is the emotional level and the cognitive level, people sometimes experience frustration, chronic fatigue, depression, irritability, poor performance. And here, a lot of the problems arise, even with the partners, even with colleagues, where we have a lot on our mind and we are unable to express this or identify what we are actually feeling. And then we experience these negative emotions and we have less control over our reactions. But this stuff, because they are negative reactions, they have negative consequences. So even if at the moment someone is irritable and then they just shout at their colleague, for example, during a disagreement, they might feel better for 1 second or 2 seconds, and then they're gonna feel bad, and this might affect their business. And this is why it's really important to notice these signs and work on them. Okay, so emotional and behavioral signals, interpersonal friction, increased irritability or snapping at co-founders, as I said, partners or investors, strategic avoidance, purposely ignoring Slack, emails, or networking opportunities to avoid feeling overwhelmed. The procrastination trap, swapping high impact critical tasks for low value busy work. For example, spending hours on logo colors instead of sales. And I think a lot of us tend to do that. Even I tend to do that. And then when I identify and know what I'm doing, that's where I stop and say, no, there are more important tasks. And then eventually in this webinar, we'll be learning how to be able to control this. There's also the decision fatigue. It's a noticeable inability to make simple choices or feeling paralyzed by the daily to-do list. Even the minimal tasks, it's even brushing one's teeth, even wearing one's clothes and going to a meeting, things that you used to do without even thinking about them, you might be tired of doing now. And it can be a sign of emotional and behavioral signals. So also there is loss of radical candor, which is moving from healthy debate to cynical silence or detachment from the mission. Anybody has a question so far? Or anyone would like to share an experience they went through where they felt any of those signals? Okay. We'll continue, please, if you have any.
Yes, Jana.
Yes.
I would actually just share with you like what you are saying. It resonates with me because what affects honestly like my stress level and my communication ability and my behavior also like is the lack of preparation. You know,
Mm,
so this is like it really triggers a lot of emotions of stress, even anger. And here I can link it to the poor performance that you just mentioned. So I just
mm.
want to say that this is very relatable and it resonates with me, of course.
Okay, thank you so much, Aisha. And by the end of the session, if like throughout the session, we're going to talk about a lot of techniques that might help. By the end of the session, if you feel like you didn't get your answer, or maybe you'd like to discuss more of a technique to also deal with this, I'd be happy to help. Okay.
Of course, thank you.
So first, on how to deal with this. It's very important to do a 30-second daily self-check. I know some of the techniques I'm gonna be voicing out today and giving you might look too simple or might look like they won't really do a difference. But believe me, and because I have tried them personally and I've told several people about them and they have tried them, they really can make a difference because it's all about being able to condition your brain into think a certain way and to really relieve itself from the anxieties and the stressors that sometimes might not be even real, they're just in our heads. So it's very important to keep ourselves checked and grounded. So back to the 30-second daily self-check. It's very important to just for 30 seconds sit down, feel grounded, your hands on your laps and your feet touching the ground, and ask yourself, where is the location located? Where is the tension, sorry, located in your body right now? Some people feel this tension in their stomach, some people feel it in their head, but it's important to locate it. And then ask, what is the primary narrative? What is the thing that is causing the main thing causing the tension right now? It can be I'm behind on my tasks. It can be like Aisha shared, also that not knowing enough about the thing and not being prepared properly, which causes anxiety. And then ask yourselves on a scale from 1 to 10, what is my battery honestly at? So ask yourselves about the energy. Now, being realistic, how much energy do you still have? Sometimes we are too hard on ourselves and we expect from ourselves to outachieve and overachieve always. But to be realistic and ask yourself really, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is my energy at, and where is my energy going to? It's very important. Okay, the anxiety loop. So I think this would also relate to you. Overload, when we're overloaded with a lot of tasks, a lot of overwhelming responsibilities, then it feels like a cognitive fog. Or some people like to describe it as if someone is standing and a really, really, really fast train is just passing by, and you aren't be and this fast train is your thoughts, and you're not being able to grasp even one thought because of how fast the thoughts are racing in your head because they're overwhelming. And when this cognitive fog happen, it's very likely for mistakes to happen, because when one can't focus on one proper thing, then you can't give your energy and attention to one thing, and then it's very dispatched and mistakes happen. This leads to increased anxiety and overcorrection. And this loop goes over and over again, because then when the one tries to do the correction, the overload happens and it's a loop. How can we stop that loop? There are several methods we can try doing. Some people like method one, some people like method two. It's up to your personal experience, but I would really recommend you trying all these methods and seeing what works for you. So first is the cognitive unloading, which is the brain dump. So first, get a paper, write every to-do and worry on paper, and then categorize these tasks: immediate, today, strategic, which can be done throughout the week, and noise, that are trash. So trash can be things, not trash, but things that we can do nothing about right now, things that we are very worried about, and they might not even be real. They're just because of our anxieties overlapping. And then after this, just take a look at this in your brain, categorize these tasks. Are they immediate or not? So you can know what to focus on, and then you can close the notebook. I know this sounds very simple, but at the same time, it's very helpful to be able to categorize the tasks and know what to start with first. Method two is the three outcome rule. So I personally do this a lot, and it has personally helped me, because sometimes, due to the overwhelming tasks, we forget what we actually achieved. We forget that there are a lot of things that might have happened throughout the day or throughout the week that we're happy about and we're lucky for, but we don't remember them because of all the negative energy around us. And that's why it's very important to recondition our brain to try and look for these positive moments, appreciate these positive moments, and like we say, look at the cup half full. So first, it's very important to define exactly 3 wins for the day. I've asked this question a lot of times. Several people say that they don't have 3 wins for the day, or nothing really nice happened to them. But I would like you to just take a minute or two and think of 3 things, 3 nice things that happened today. They can be as simple as seeing a nice bird or a nice flower. And if anyone would like to share, I'd be happy to help, to hear, sorry. Yes, Juliana.
Hello, Ms. Jana.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for presence today here with us. It's so powerful topic to talk about for sure.
Thank you.
So like 3 wins for today, or maybe 3 things I'm grateful for so far today. Like maybe we're still alive in our situation. This is one. Another thing is that maybe our breath, the little things that we like take for granted sometimes. And maybe I'm still working in such situations as well. So we're like focusing and no matter what's going on.
Thank you, Juliana. It's very important what you shared, and it's very important really to feel lucky and appreciate. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to share? So I'd like to share mine. The first thing is my cats were very cute today. I have two cats. The tree is blooming because it's spring, and I have a lemon tree, so I'm very happy about that. And I'm very happy to be with you guys, so thank you. If you can try to practice this really before you sleep every day, just try to remember the three good things or four good things, however you want. Just it's good to look at the cup half full. And if these three are done, the day is a success. Everything else is a bonus, not a requirement. This is also very important to be able to keep track of your tasks, of whether you finished the day successfully, and to be able to clear your mind that you already did three successful things and not worry about doing more. So method three, it's actually the second reset and it's a nervous system regulation. In method three, I use two techniques that I really recommend, which are breathing and grounding techniques. So first, the breathing, you can do it every day before you sleep or when you wake up. It's preferable to do it throughout the day several times because when actually a triggering event happens, the mind will not remember to calm itself. But if we practice this daily and often, then when a triggering event happens and we are reacting, the mind will automatically be able to breathe and calm itself. So the technique is you can breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds. Some people find that this breathing technique can get them dizzy or they're breathing too fast or something. But it's very important to try and regulate. If it does not suit you, it's fine. It does not have to suit you because some people really get dizzy and other people really get very comfortable. And there are a lot of other breathing techniques you can even check. There are 6, 7, 8, and several other techniques you can check. As for the grounding technique, it's something that we usually do daily in our lives, but without having a specific name for it, which is the grounding technique. And the grounding technique, of course, this is one of the techniques used, which is 5 senses. So, especially when someone is having an anxiety attack, a panic attack, or going through something very, very, very intense, it's important to stay grounded, or when hearing something very sad or reacting to something very angry, it's important to stay grounded and not get too caught up in our feelings and emotions and our reactions. And how we can try to ground ourselves is through identifying 5 things you can see, 5 things you can hear around you, 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can taste, and 5 things you can touch. So, this is to get back in touch with our reality, to ground ourselves and get back in touch with our senses. It's really very helpful. I don't know if anyone has tried it before. Has anyone tried it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wallah, I've not
Yes.
tried it. I like it. It's very interesting, صراحة.
But Ms. Jana, regarding the breath work, I usually do the long breath for the exhale. What do you think? Is it better like to do it 4-4-4 or to have the exhale longer?
You know, there are different techniques, and I can't say one of them is wrong or right. It's just about what suits the person better. So
Okay.
several people try different techniques, and then one of them works. And some people don't find the technique. So I guess whatever suits you.
Okay, all right.
Hi, it's Rula Yunus. I did both for myself. I do always breathing,
Mm,
all types of breathing, the box, the other types. But I taught my mom, she's 87,
mm.
that went through a devastating
Rula, it's
or
lagging. I can't hear you properly.
surgery last year. السبكونشس مايند تبعها. اه اوكي. بقول صارت تعمل مام she's 87. ايه my network.
Uh,
I'll
إيش
join at a later stage.
I think it's good now if you'd like to talk.
Okay, I taught my mom to do it, even though she's
Mm,
87.
mm,
صارت a kind of second nature بالsubconscious mind تبعها يعني even when she's
mm,
sleeping she does the breathing, inhale and then the exhale is extended. And when she does anxiety attack,
mm,
I try the grounding with her بس مش 5 5 5 يعني مثلا 5 things to see, 4 things to hear,
mm,
3 things to touch, يعني I try
mm,
هيك
mm,
to
mm.
minimize it شوي لأن
أكيد
she's old, she's 87 بس
أكيد.
عم بيزبطوا, they
I'm
work.
so glad. ما هي you need to adapt the technique أكيد depending on the person who's doing it. But I'm really glad that it's working. And even if you like one more technique, there are some people that have trouble sleeping. They try counting backwards and it helps a lot. So 100, 99, 98, 97, and then several people don't even reach the 90 and then they fall
Nice.
asleep.
This is something nice لأنه أخذت
Mm,
the same thing تقريبا هيدا الشيء مع
mm,
ال Ministry of Health مع إدراك كمان.
nice.
So ما حدا قالنا عن هيدا الباكورد والمام she faces a lot of يعني lack of sleep. صرت عم بعطيها اشياء يعني انا باخدها ميلاتونين، اشواغندا،
Mm,
مغنيسيوم جلايسينيت.
mm.
في ترابل يعني حتى في فايت هي ونايمه حتى هي وغافيه. So trying all the techniques بصراحه و thank you for the counting back.
أكيد no worries it would help هيك one final advice it would help to ما بعرف إذا you already did it but to create a sleep hygiene. It's called a sleep hygiene. So basically several factors that would help a person sleep. For example, to drink before they sleep, when to stop eating, to stop listening to the news or stop looking at one's phone. So there are several techniques into the sleep hygiene that would also help a person sleep more peacefully or better.
Yes, yes. يعني هلا هي she's in the Alzheimer
Mm,
phase.
mm.
So she considers everyone where else غير her room is dangerous. يعني هيك separate صار البيت انه وين that's why انه منيح انه thank God انه she wouldn't have slept any in her entire life يعني.
I get you. وكمان إذا أكيد بقيت the sleeping problems would be helpful to ask a specialist.
Yes أكيد. Sure. Thank you so much.
No worries, Rilo. Thank you for sharing. So now I'm gonna also talk about the role overload or the old hats fallacy. So as CEOs, as business owners, you have all the hats and you need to play all the cards. Like, sorry, you're wearing all the hats and you need to play all the cards. So you're a CEO, you're a sales, you're an HR, you're a support. You need to deal with the creativity, feelings, facts, cautions. You need to look at everything and keep track of everything, which is something that is very overwhelming and it is a lot. And context switching drains 40% of productivity. So you as people, as business owners, you are switching between contexts and this is draining 40% of the productivity. And this is where also some people lose their identity because they are trying to do a startup, they are trying to grow their business and looking at the future and hoping that the future will hold a lot of successes. And this is true and this is right, but at the same time, if one does not take good care of themselves in the present moment, then it's very hard to be able to take care of yourselves later because the unhealthy patterns have already been established. So it's very good to start taking care of oneself from now and not wait until later, until the burnout. Okay, so one technique we can use for this all hats fallacy is the role separation technique, which is basically compartmentalizing the self. One should have fixed hours for CEO versus worker mode. So dividing the tasks, are these tasks for CEO or creative tasks? And instead of doing all of them at once, is good because it compartmentalizes the self and it distinguishes between which area of your brain you're using right now, which skill you're using right now, and this would increase productivity. So instead of blending all these roles together, we separate them. Before starting any task, ask yourself what role you are in at the moment. This creates mental clarity and helps you respond more effectively instead of reacting emotionally across different situations. Then there are the physical cues, change locations, clothing when switching roles. I know it might sound silly, but it's really helpful, similar to when they used to tell us when we were students in school that don't study in your room in the same place that you sleep in because you will not be able to separate. This is the same concept. To be able to separate, it's good to be able to change location and clothing when switching the role. And the off trigger. It's a 5-minute ritual to signal the end of the day. So anyone can share anything about this, something they do at the end of their day to signal that خلاص, we're done. Personally, what I try to do is sitting by myself, like at the end of each day, especially as someone dealing with clients all day, I take 10 to 15 minutes time for myself where I just drink my tea and listen to music and talk to no one. It helps a lot. It's like telling my brain that خلاص, now we're stopping. Okay. There's also the emotional containment rule. So the rule says it's preferable to not process business crises in personal or rest spaces. So, as I was saying, in your room, in your living room, it's good not to enmesh these, and it's good to separate them. It's good to set a 15-minute venting window, then pivot to solutions. As you all know, it's better not to react immediately when any situation happens because when we react emotionally, we are less likely to be taking a cognitive decision. It can be an unhealthy decision. So it's better to sit 15 minutes just venting, thinking about this before you start jumping to having solutions and conclusions. Just let yourself feel whatever you need to feel for 15 minutes, and then you can start thinking of a solution. And separating the problem from your identity. This is very important as business owners, as future business owners. There are a lot of problems that you're gonna be facing, and there are a lot of obstacles. It's very important to be able to separate this from your identity. So if one does any mistake or something, it's important to know that this is a problem at work and not an identity problem. Not you as a person did this issue, it's just an issue that happened at work. A strategy, the instinct is to find a better system. what to do when you're near burnout. So finding a better system. If this is not working, if the current system is very exhausting, it's very important to be able to identify that. It's very important to be able to talk about that with your partner, investor, to be able to voice that out and to accept making some changes, because sometimes people are very stubborn about their goals. They know what they want and they know what to do to reach that, but sometimes it's good to listen to other perspectives and try other ways. The solution is also to do less. I know there are a lot of tasks, but we can't do them all right now. So it's important to cut at least 20% of non-essentials. If we go back to the technique that I was talking about, where you sit down and you write the tasks and what you have, and then you divide them, the daily, weekly, and the noise that are things that you cannot be working on. It's good to cut from the non-essentials just to clear your brain a bit. Micro recovering strategies. So non-sleep, deep rest. To recover properly after a long day, if you need to take a break just to clear your mind a bit before a meeting or before a big event that you have, it's important to take a 10-minute, not deep sleep, just a rest for your brain, so you can clear your brain out and just calm your anxiety. It's important to do a digital sunset, which is no screens 60 minutes before bed, because the phones, social media screens, they're all very overwhelming and very overstimulating. And especially you, as people who are already overstimulated and have a lot on their plate, it's important to clear one's mind. And the zone of genius, which is spending 20 minutes of your day on tasks that you actually enjoy. I know a lot of people say that it's fine, now I'm gonna work hard and then I can enjoy my life. Then I can have time. When I have enough money, then I'll have time to enjoy life and to enjoy what I want to do. But at the same time, if you don't give yourself the motivation, and if you don't give yourself a hug every once in a while, it's not gonna work, because you're gonna be burnt out. You're not gonna be able to sustain yourself. You just be nice to yourself and do things that you might enjoy. It's also very important to build a founder support system. So to have peer groups. The peer groups can be founders at your stage, and it's for honesty, not for networking. So not just for making connections, it's also for having people, colleagues who relate to what you're going through, who understand what you're going through, and might be able to help and listen to you, which is very important, that you don't feel alone in this. Mentors, those who have survived the resistance phase, those who were able to notice the warning signs and work on themselves to sustain their energy. And transparency. It's very honest that you have honest communication with your core team. I know sometimes communication can be very hard, especially when you're dealing with different personalities, different peoples, different goals. But at the same time, staying true to your team and communicating properly will consequently lead to a better business and a more smooth operation. So, as a closing message, I would like to say that entrepreneurship is a marathon and it is not a sprint. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of work to get there. You can't just sprint and get there. However, a burnt out founder cannot innovate or lead. You need to be grounded. You need to be in touch with yourselves, with your feelings, with your bodies, to be able to maintain and sustain. And a strategic reset, rest is a competitive advantage. It's fine if you rest. It's important to rest, and it's not a weakness if one needs a couple of days just to clear their mind. If one needs to rest, it's fine and it is needed. So for the next 24 hours, I'd like you to just take the time, reflect on these aspects, reflect on what we talked about today, and maybe put an action plan to what you would like to do, what you would like to change moving forward. Anyone has any question?
Thank you, Jana. We can open now for Q&A. If you have a question, please just unmute and ask.
Yes, Juliana.
Yeah, Ms. Jana, first of all, thank you so much. This was really powerful and needed, mainly currently and whatever we're going on. So I mainly liked the techniques that you mentioned, like the breath work and grounding and all that. For me, breath work have been like so helpful because you can just like do it in your spot without like needing to close your eyes or whatever. So it's really helpful for me. And yeah, honey. Hello.
Yes, Juliana.
Yeah, and another thing I'd love to try that I really liked that you mentioned about the categorizing of the tasks, like and like to remove like 20% if I got it right, like of
Yes.
our to-do list. So yeah, because sometimes like I just feel guilty for not completing the to-do list for the day or something like that. So maybe categorizing could be like helpful for me in this case. Like it's okay to do less in certain days, right?
Yes, I really think so. And even the technique that we discussed about the naming three successes or three good things that you were able to do today, this would also help you appreciate what you've already done and appreciate yourself for doing this.
Yeah,
Because sometimes people feel that they underachieve just
yeah,
because there are a lot of tasks and no human being would be able to do them all throughout one day.
yes,
But it's
yeah,
good to remember that.
yeah. Thank you so
I
much
can't
for this. Yeah,
I can't agree more. I used to have an endless list of to do and tasks وكنت يعني got overwhelmed I tried يعني to procrastinate the يعني the priorities يعني كنت فوت priorities with non-priorities. So هلا I'm prioritizing things وعم نقي 3 كان يعني عامل شي 12 وكنت حس حالي I'm less achieving
مم.
يا 3 يا 4 وعاملة jar of achievement حتى لو كانت small win عم بحطها in the jar of achievement daily
This
daily
is so nice,
which is
Roland.
rewarding يعني بصراحة.
It's a very nice idea. It's very rewarding. لأنه بالنهاية you are the ones achieving هول الأشياء and you should be proud of your achievements حتى لو كانوا minimal achievements you still did them despite كل الظروف.
yeah,
يس وفي شغلة يمكن ساعدتني شوي ما بعرف إذا انذكرت أو لأ. thank you for all the tips لأنه جديد علي بس مثلا أنا I personally بعمل breathing و I try to stretch while بحب أنا شوي أنام زيادة الصبح يعني كنت قوم على ألارم مزعوجة بدي أقوم 5 ما عم بعملها صرت لأنه مثل هيك kind of feeling إنه I'm being imposed upon إنه لازم أقوم 5 إنه تكون أنا a successful entrepreneur. ما بقى عم بعملها ما بقى عم حس حالي guilty out of this و I'm trying to manage إنه أعمل أكتر من شغلة يعني حتى أنا وبالفرشة I stretch I breathe I try to meditate وقت اللي بقوم وبسمع motivational يوتيوب بيعطوني motivation بقوم بعمل شوية post rehab هيك exercises to wake me up أحسن ما ضلني lazy يعني كنت ضلني هيك لفترة معينة إنه أقول لازم أقوم بكير على الألارم أرجع نام هلأ لأ عادي عم بقوم 7 I'm doing هودي الsmall 5 minutes of everything they are leading me to a better way. يعني
You
it's
know
kind of
what
بيصير second nature.
وقت يكون القرار يعني حسب كمان ما عم بفهم منك انت كنت قبل تحس انه انا لازم شيء على الخمسة وكان في هاي it was not a decision that you wanted to make it just that you felt that you had to
I had to
بنفس
إنه I had
الوقت
to
when
be
you found
successful I had to wake up in the morning at 5 be a
you found
successful
your way
entrepreneur.
you found your way to be successful in your own way which is really good it's very good. And
Yes
even
I
حتى
got
اللي حكيتي عنهم ال morning rituals وهول الاشياء they're very important and it's very important كل واحد to create the morning ritual يعني حتى في اشخاص احيان they do some morning rituals but they can be unhealthy مثل هيك something that comes up انه في شخص كانت كل يوم to be very anxious and هيك she'd get to work هيك anxious and angry and then وقتها كنا going back to reflecting on her rituals on شو بتعمل بس شيء she likes listening to pop and rock music in the morning during the drive and then when she noticed انه okay being overstimulating my brain هالقد على الصبح even if I like the music was something unhealthy كانت عم تعمله so حتى الاشياء ال very minimal simple like what music we listen to شو عم نعمل الصبح شو أول شي بنعمله بس نفيق is very important لكيف the rest of the day goes.
Jana, you mean انه we have to be conscious and be awakened of every emotion behind every action and يعني حتى even هلا I'm trying انه انا I shed off 21 kilograms كنت اكل out of كتير emotions fear guilt everything هلا عم بتطلع يعني بالشغله بقول انه لا why am I eating this وبصراحه صار في good relationship يعني حتى مع الاكل ومع يعني حتى مع الفاميلي
This is really important عن جد
ايه
لأنه
عن جد انا عم لاقي فرق بصراحة.
مثل ما قلتي نقدر to identify and recognize the feeling the emotion كتير كتير شي مهم لنقدر نكون عم نحل الشغلة لأنه بالنهاية كل الأشياء أو الرياكشنز أو التريجرز كلهم جايين من محل معين وحتى our behaviors so it's important تكون in touch مع our feelings ونقدر نفهم حالنا because إذا حدا مضايق أو ما عارف ليه مضايق حيكون مضايق أكتر و frustrated و angry أكتر بس إذا حدا مضايق أو عارف ليه at least they're gonna be able to identify هذا السبب ويقدروا maybe يحلوه من just the frustration of not knowing.
Thank you dear, thank you so much.
Anyone has any other question?
Jana, I wanted to mention that I'm working on a mental health app and I'd love to incorporate هول القصص اللي انت عم بتقليهم like اللي حكينا عنهم so if I can take your consultation of how I can incorporate them inside the app it will be great.
إذا بدك sure at the end of the slide في my email you can reach out أكيد.
Perfect, thank you so
Would
much.
love that.
Thank you.
I'd like to end today بهيك بس a couple of minutes لكم عن شيء تفكروا فيه بينكم وبين حالكم you don't have to share it with us. Which one method from today will you implement tomorrow and what is one task you will remove from your list to create space? If you could take just a moment تفكروا بهذا الشيء بينكم وبين حالكم it's really important لأنه كمان ما بنقدر نكون عم نغير شيء without actually practicing and wanting to change. Thank you everyone. It was very nice meeting you and very nice knowing you. Thank you Hani and Maria. Anyone has any question?
أنا regarding ال proximity للمطرح الوار يعني مثلا نحن for example قاعدين بعين رمانة it's near شياح it's very close how can we يعني هيك نجرب قد ما فينا ما يعني to identify the fear أو to ما بعرف. هلا I'm doing the grounding and the breathing, it helps a lot. بس في شي other recommendation تقدري تعطينا إياها؟ يعني بتعرفي وقت الدينجر بيقرب كتير ما مش بإيدك بتصير الشغلة fight or flight.
أكيد و having to listen to the noises كمان ما بيساعد أبدا. هلا مهم أول شيء أكيد الواحد يقدر يكون عم بأكد لحاله ويرجع يذكر حاله انه اوكي انا هلا هون انا بمحل امان هلا، وكل هالاخبار الفاكتشوال يلي might actually help. نجرب مش كل الوقت نكون عم نسمع اخبار. بعرف نحن بحاجة نسمع الاخبار لنعرف شو حيصير لنطمن، بس بنفس الوقت this is very triggering و very overstimulating نضلنا كل الوقت. سو نجرب نكون عم نعمل اشياء نلتهي فيها. مثلا إذا بالليل عم بيطلع كتير صوت طيران نقدر نحط موفي مع العيلة نعلي الصوت، نجرب نتأقلم هيك كمان، لأنه أحيانا العيلة كمان الولاد بيكونوا كتير خايفين وهذا الشيء بأثر علينا، وإذا نحن خايفين عم نأثر على الولاد. so it's important نقدر نجرب مع هالظروف نكون creating a جو هيك تقدر الواحد to adapt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jana, for the presentation.
Thank you, Hani.
Thank you so much, Jana. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.
Have a good day all.